Lou Dobbs, of course, has made immigration a cornerstone of his program. Lou Dobbs tonight. He'll be a key player in CNN's coverage tomorrow. And a few days ago, CNN's Rick Sanchez sat down with him on CNN's newsroom to talk about the issue. The two come at it from very different perspectives. Let's just say the conversation was spirited. It began on a very personal note. Take a look.
Lou, you have a great show. But I'll tell you, as a Hispanic living in the United States, I watch your show sometimes, and I hope you'll forgive me for saying this.
Sure.
I feel a little bit taken aback. I feel sometimes like I'm not valued after I watch one of your newscasts.
Really?
Do you get that?
Yeah. Why is that, Rick?
You did a story last night about the Salvation Army, for example, and there's two people working at the Salvation Army, and apparently there's a lawsuit in this story. You explained it quite well, as a matter of fact.
Thank you.
Two people who essentially can be fired because in a non-essential job in the back, folding clothes, they wanted to say a couple of words to each other in Spanish.
Right.
And you seem horrified by that. The question is, should there not be a little bit of room for tolerance? Are we not judged by how we treat the least amongst us?
If I may, Rick, when Hispanics define themselves in terms of illegal immigration, which is what I hear you doing, that's troubling.
Well, I'm not defining myself.
You're being very racial.
I'm not defining myself according to illegal immigration. I'll tell you how I'm defining myself. I'm defining myself as the son of Paco and Adela, who came to this country as refugees, who came to this country as immigrants, and to this day don't speak a lick of English. But their son does. And you know why they don't speak a lick of English? Because they work 3, 4 different jobs. They worked until 9, 10 o'clock at night just to be able to get home. And they used to say to us, it's too late for us to make it in this country, but we're going to be darn well sure that you guys get a good education, me and my brothers, and you do make it somehow, and you will speak English. And that's the pattern.
That's a wonderful personal story. When you talk about your parents, do you realize that they represent a trend in this country that has been extant since the beginning of our nation?
Right.
Secondly, that this nation brings in lawfully more than 2 million immigrants a year.
And that's what
but let me finish.
Go ahead.
That is more than the rest of the world combined. And yet I hear the effrontery that this is not a welcoming nation, that because I do not like illegal immigration, and I can demonstrate factually that it is deleterious to the interest of the country, and that if there is a reason in the world for us to exist, it is because we are a nation of laws. For in a racial context is absurd.
But do you want to fire 2 guys working in a kitchen somewhere who are washing dishes for minimum wage, who happens to say to the other one, oye, tírame la toalla, throw the towel at me, please, and the boss comes by and has the right to say, you're fired, you just spoke Spanish?
Oh, I think
is that the America you want?
Of course, Rick. That would be an absurdity. That's not the issue. The issues that I am concerned about, more than the cultural issues by far, is simply following the law and seeing the architecture of good public policy. But the idea that you as a Hispanic American would be offended by anyone who wants to constrain illegal immigration, Rick, I can't even imagine what would bubble through your soul on that.
You're absolutely 100% right. And to be fair, I watch you every single night, and you're consistent with that message. And you don't just talk about the illegal immigrants. You speak specifically about the people who hire them. You talk about the government that sets up a system where that can happen. And I think that's important. And to be fair, you do that every night. But you also have a tendency to use that word illegal over and over again.
Well, I mean illegal.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's as... Lou,
why would I not use illegal? They're illegal.
But it's as if these people... What's their option, Lou? What is their option? Where's their Statue of Liberty?
Here are the options, and they're pretty straightforward. One, if businesses, large corporations, are interested in bringing in more cheap labor into this country, they should go to Congress and change public policy. And secondly, those who come here illegally should go through their consulates and apply for citizenship, just like 6 million people who are waiting in line to enter this country lawfully.
Lou Dobbs, you're a tough guy. I enjoyed this passionate conversation and debate. Let's do it again.
You got a deal, Rick.
My colleague Lou Dobbs, our Sunday Spotlight.